And know that Romans 5:2, that I can rejoice in the hope of God's glory and what he's doing in my life. It doesn't always have to be something I'm planning. It's kind of like when you're little and you go into the classroom, you don't walk up to the teacher when you're in like second grade and start telling her or him what you think you need to learn, right? But that's sometimes we do that with God. We go, God, here's what I want to grow in, so help me do this. But God's curriculum is very, very different. One of the best things that's happened to me was when God took me through a curriculum to break fear off of my life. And it was a hard curriculum. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I've talked to you guys about how I had some hard, bad things happen when I was in junior high. And I had a huge stronghold of fear in my life. And God had to break that off. The curriculum that God had for me during that time included post-traumatic stress disorder and feeling like my brain was breaking apart and I was never going to be able to pull it together again and be a good mom. And it included feeling weak and miserable and unspiritual and unsuccessful, and I felt like such a mess. But God had a curriculum for my life, and he wasn't giving up on me. And I have to tell you that happened a decade ago, but something really incredible happened last week. Our son, Will 3, who now lives in Denver with his wife, Amy, is in a small group there, and they were talking about fear issues. And there was a young gal in their group, a young professional woman, who was having some fear struggles. And he called me and he said, could you talk to my friend? I told her your story, and she's really interested in talking to you. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad to talk to her. And he goes, this is what my son said. The one kid who saw me as a fear freak. He goes, yeah, I told her that you used to be a real fear freak, but now you're just like a happy goofball. Y'all, that was like the best compliment I could have ever received. If you're a mom, you understand, right? Here's my oldest saw the pieces of me where fear was involved, where I couldn't let go, where I wanted to hyper-control everything because I was so afraid. And here I have this kid saying this, which is just evidence to me of God's glory in my life. I couldn't do that by myself. God picked a curriculum to free me from fear, and he did it. And so this idea that we're in a continuing education process with God and that we need to be learners is a piece of kingdom living. And if you want to understand what it means to live an abundant life, an overcoming life, you have to give yourself over to this curriculum God has for you that you do not understand all the time. And maybe someday one of your children will say, just a happy goofball, and you will be so happy.